Ole Futsal, and the regular season comes to a close with a 3-game weekend. The first match being Mitwest FC hosting Ole Futsal Club at Lansing City Arena. Mitwest continues to make incremental improvements, and although are eliminated from the playoffs, continue to play for pride. As they take on the top team in the league, can they continue to improve their play and fix problems on both sides of the ball? Ole has already secured first place and have 2 games left this weekend to close out their season. With the second match ahead that will decide the playoff picture, Ole will need to focus 1 game at a time and manage fitness. Will we see a different lineup tonight compared to the usual starters? Will Ole continue to pursue a flawless season? Can Mitwest continue to find silver linings in what has been a disappointing season? Find out when Mitwest hosts Ole Futsal Club right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Futsal Champions Series. Tonight's match here in Lansing City Arena. It's Mitwest FC welcoming Grand Rapids Ole. Jared Kleppel, Gerard Iscani here courtside watching the game alongside of you at home. Gerard, these 2 teams met just a week ago, and that result was very lopsided.
It was exactly what we expected. I would expect more of the same tonight. What's really interesting, though, is that the teams make their own schedules, and Fabian most likely did this intentionally. This is his first time playing in Lansing in a couple of years, and knowing that tomorrow night is a big matchup, getting that little preparation to the court, to the arena tonight, that's a great first step.
And something we expect to see kind of as far as storylines go tonight, we do know that Mitwest is eliminated from the playoffs. Grand Rapids Ole have already secured the #1 seed, so there's no playing for the playoffs right now. But what we did see last week, and we expect to see more of the same, is an Ole side that will experiment and try new things, and a Mitwest side that is really trying to see any kind of improvement no matter how marginal.
Yeah, you know, Coach Francois from Mitwest has talked about that the entire season, that this was not one where they came to win or to make the playoffs, but it was really about developing talent, and that's something that Francois is committed to. And when we think about Grand Rapids Ole and what they're going to do, their starting lineup is really interesting today. These are 4 players that are starting with Josh Pierce that we haven't seen that collection together this season except for maybe here and there. But as a starting line, never.
Speaking of those starters, it's going to be Andres Montes in goal for Grand Rapids Ole, Johan Vasquez, Daniel Diaz, Chris Mendez, and Sammy Esquivel to round that one out. On the other side, we are going to see Aiden Hanchett start in goal once again, even though Pashima is on the roster. Zach Landers, Brian Cruz, Storm Powers, and Josh Hahn round out the starting 5 for Mitwest. Kickoff has happened. Ole on a quick attack through Sammy Esquivel. Now Chris Mendez looking to the other side. Diaz! And Sammy Esquivel nearly puts one away in the first 14 seconds.
And it's not often that we see Diaz without his brother. So Daniel and Adrian, they are almost always on the same line together. It'll be, you know, an interesting storyline to see how does he interact. Like right there, that was a beautiful pass, but Sammy wasn't ready for it. It's something that we see from the Diaz twins all of the time. They're always on the same page.
Now here is Ole across half court. Sammy Esquivel working with Johan Vasquez on the far side. That one a little bit out of his range. Mitwest have possession for the first time tonight. Zach Landers under heavy pressure by Danny Diaz. And he's going to force it out for keep a restart through the hands of Aiden Hanchett.
And this is a new look for Mitwest, too. So Brian Cruz has been rostered for a lot of games, but actually I think this is the first time I've seen him play all year. And same thing with Storm Powers, rostered for a lot of games, but this is his first action that I'm seeing. This is a new lineup for them.
Storm Powers did find action in the last time they were here playing against Lansing City, but I don't know that we saw Brian Cruz.
He was rostered for that game, though, wasn't he? Because I feel like he was on the lineup.
I've seen that name a couple times. I have seen that name a couple times, but seeing him here on the court, I don't think I recognize. Him. So here is Ole, a little chip looking to the back post, going to be too high for Danny Diaz.
Well, sadly, I was here for the Lansing City Midwest game, and I don't recall Storm Powers, so I would imagine that it wasn't that much of an impact that he had on the game. So hopefully he can have a bigger impact tonight.
More than you might realize, he is a player that is not a stranger to futsal. He actually Grew up playing in the Lansing City Academy, so he has had some solid roots there, and just recently has started to play for Mitwest. So he's one of the players, along with Zach Landers, for Mitwest that I would expect to have an eye out for, to see if we see some of that improvement that we're talking about. As we have a shot from Esquivel, blocked by Hanchett.
Well, speaking of players, yeah, Hanchett, he was phenomenal against Jenga last week. It's exciting to see him back there. Posthuma is actually our saves leader in the league, so to see him on the bench for a game, that's unheard of. I don't think that we have seen that out of Posthuma all season, but Aiden had a fantastic game last week, and he was really offensively sound, very aggressive, and he was probably their standout offensive performer last week.
And it sounds like they're going to be doing half and half for goalkeepers tonight, Mitwest. I was told before the game, actually by Aiden himself, that he was going to be playing first half. Posthuma would be going in goal second half. We might even see Hanchett on the court for the second half. We'll see.
Fun fact about Aiden, he actually started his own futsal club, the Red Cedar Club, and they won the first FCS Invitational. It's one of his standouts in his bio. He talked about that was one of his proudest futsal moments.
Here comes Olay. The counterattack a little bit too much. J.R. Real couldn't quite make the connection.
I have to imagine you might have been playing at that time.
I don't think
in the FCS Invitation you were.
I never played in the FCS. I never played except for friendlies on this court. Yeah, right when Lansing City got this court, that's when my time in futsal ended. And it was like, oh, that's a bummer. This one getting knocked around over the end line. Aiden Hanchett will restart it. He tells his teammates, get down the floor. Get down the floor, please. He's going to go long.
Yeah, fun fact about Zach Landers, he actually is from New Zealand, and he's only played futsal since coming to the States. He actually goes to college with Josh Posthuma, and Josh recruited him to play for Mitwest, and so this is his new introduction to the sport. And this season, for somebody that hasn't played futsal before, he's only played outdoor soccer, it's been great to see his growth over the year.
Mitwest with a little bit of, maybe you could call it possession in the attacking half for a moment there. They are high pressing. How will Olay handle this? They're no stranger to it, but Mitwest are able to get a turnover, although they turn the ball over right away themselves. Well, that's one thing. If I had to pick out one thing that I feel like has been the biggest positive for Mitwest this year is I think that when they are fresh and they have the energy, it seems like their high pressure has actually, affected the comfortability of the teams that they're playing, even if it's a small margin, which I feel like it has been. I have seen it, I have seen them win the ball, and I have seen them, put pressure on it.
They're really effective in every aspect of the game, and it's one of the things that I like to see tonight is really thinking about why are they making these lineup changes that we're seeing even right now. These are four players we don't typically see together. And what's Fabian learning out of this, and will we see some of these lineups tomorrow night against Lansing City?
Mentioned tomorrow night, Lansing City will meet Olay here on this court in about 22 hours. So Olay with back-to-back matches in less than a day. This one certainly coming into it feels a little bit more like a warm-up experimental opportunity to try things match. And tomorrow, when they meet Lansing City, a team who's going to be hungry to get a victory here and make their way into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would anticipate this game being pretty tight, at least over the first 10 minutes or so before Olay starts to really pull away. It's one of the things that we've seen consistently out of Mitwest, that they tend to start the games pretty solid, but over time they don't typically have a lot of subs. Nice shot there, but just a little wide by Aaron Gomez. One of the things that we've seen consistently from Mitwest is that they just don't have the stamina to continue to keep up that intensity and that pace, especially when teams start high pressing. And they end up dropping back a lot defensively to maintain their stamina.
Both teams with nearly entire lineup changes while the ball was out of play there. Handshake goes long, too long. Now Olay deal with the Mitwest high pressure. Mendez pivot for Grand Rapids. Olay coming back to help out there. He's working with Danny Diaz. The starters for Olay back out there. Danny Diaz, Chris Mendez, Sammy Esquivel. He has it here. Finding Danny Diaz off the post. All he finds is the iron of the post. Let's see it again.
What a great play, great pass by Sammy Esquivel. Diaz just slightly missing, and really it's the reciprocal situation that we saw earlier where Diaz passed to Esquivel and he wasn't able to finish. And I just think about those moments when we have the Diaz twins together this season. Every time those passes happen, that's a finish, right? So that's part of what I imagine Fabian's doing, getting these players to work on different lines, is there's these little small tweaks that are needed when you change up who you're playing with, because it's literally just the angle of the foot changes, and that's a goal.
Timeout, first one of the half. Mitwest is going to call this one. We'd like to mention our sponsor at this time. Today's match is sponsored by Ally Marketing, your teammate in marketing. If you're looking for a partner in the marketing space, website, social media, graphic design, maybe check out Ally Marketing, allymarketing.us. That's ALLY marketing.us. Ally Marketing is the official marketing partner of the FCS. And right now, with 5 minutes away in half number one, Olay and Mitwest tied up at 0-0. Ball will be restarted through the hands of Aiden Hanchett in goal. He goes long once again. Quick turnover back to Olay. Danny Diaz surrounded by Jaden Hanold and Josh Hahn. Well, that was Nathan Hahn. The brothers, number 4 and number 3 for Mitwest, Nathan and Josh Hahn. Not separated by too many years, but we did have the youngest goal scorer in the FCS through Nathan Hahn in their previous match.
Yeah, he's been another player for Mitwest that has been a standout all season. Early in the season, you could tell he was getting adjusted to playing with men, and he's really continued to develop. Oh, what a play by Chris Mendez. Beautiful pass to Daniel Diaz. Wow, you could tell they're on the same page. They knew where they were going to be. Look at this pass from Chris Mendez. Perfect, and he met Zach Landers. Great finish.
Mendez finding space as 3 Mitwest defenders pushed up in the area of where the ball was. And once Mendez had the ball, not much the defense and Aiden Hanchett could do except watch Danny Diaz on the other side put it away. Olay 1-0 with 14 left in half number one.
Yeah, and so we were talking about Nathan Hahn. If you go back and watch some of the early games this season, he didn't have much of an impact on the game, and he was really out there trying to get adjusted to the speed, to the pace. And to see him now, he scored his first goal last week against Jenga. Over the last few weeks, he's started to have more and more of an impact. So, great work by him to continue to develop.
Johan Vasquez goes down a little bit too easy for the referee's liking. No call there. Bono Romero there, that's Jimmy Saval for Mitwest with that opportunity going well wide. And here comes Olay. Sammy Esquivel with a nice strike, is going to take a deflection off Zach Landers. Go out for an Olay corner. They take it quickly. Ball rotates to Mendez. Diagonal to Johan Vasquez.
And Pablo Real was right in the middle, ready for that pass. Just couldn't finish it.
Not quite able to put that one in the back of the net for Olay. Hanchett goes long. Mitwest now have it in the defending half. Olay high pressing, speeding up the game. It's going to be one of the things to look out for is how does Mitwest handle the high press of Grand Rapids Olay. And right now, the preference is throw it long with Aiden Hanchett.
Yeah, and that's typically what we've always seen from them with Josh Postrom as well. There's not a lot of ability to build up from the back and to break down the high press.
The other hand here, Olay goes short, and they build up, and now a shot goes high for number 19.
It's Cesar Alayo. He's listed as number 10 on our roster, but you know, every now and then players change numbers for a variety of reasons. Don't know why he did tonight, but he is number 19.
Here goes Hanchett again, going high up the court, and that attempt is thwarted by Cesar Alayo.
It's actually the numbering of players is one of the most difficult aspects for our statisticians. So our league statisticians go back and review games and verify stats. When the players have a different number from one game to the next, it sometimes can be challenging to identify them.
Now Olay with a counterattack, 2v1. Jair Real gets one to go, kick save, again a save. Hanchett with two back-to-back. It's Real once again. He goes backwards. Pablo Real. Here's Jair again, a shot turned aside by Aiden Hanchett. He's been active early.
He has been, and Jair Real is just so fun to watch. Ever since that game when he scored the hat trick, we got the opportunity to call that game in person. It's been really fun to see how he continues to impact this game. And I think earlier, I did say Pablo Real, but it was Jair Real that was on the end of that pass from Johan Vasquez, who wasn't able to finish it.
This one going to be a corner for Grand Rapids Olay. Looks like we getting a sweat streak on the court mopped up. Well, no one slips and falls. Great arm strength shown by the referee there. Two Olay players stand over this when they go short. It's Jair Real going right across the face of goal. Boy, that one was close to getting through to Cesar Alayo.
Some impressive saves we're seeing from Hanchett here early.
Could this be an opportunity here for Mitwest? It's Josh Hahn. Left-footed strike. Goes well wide. No worry for goalkeeper Andres Montes for Olay. Now we typically see Andres Montes and Frankie Mendoza split halves for Olay, but tonight, no Frankie Mendoza on the roster. We do see Josh Pierce, so we'll have to see if they opt for the same strategy as Aiden Hanchett has to become a stone wall there for a moment.
That's one thing about Mitwest. We have seen really great goalkeeping from them all season long.
Well, it's interesting. It's hard. It's hard not to with the amount of shots that they receive, or maybe I should say if it wasn't, if there wasn't as many saves, the lack of skill would be very exposed because of how many shots they take.
It would be, and we've talked about this a few times with Josh Postrom specifically about how great it is for him to get the practice with Mitwest. I mean, they are facing a barrage of shots every single game, and I would expect tonight to be exactly the same. Hanchett's already got 8 saves.
Might be facing another one here as Olay look comfortable in possession in the attacking half. Esquivel very close. Oh, a nice little
judo chop.
Yeah, that's the word. I was looking for something. You just did a nice little judo chop, as you put it, to stop Johan Vasquez from finding the back of the net.
Judo chop demonstration coming up.
The judo chop. It was like, boom. That's all it was. It came across. Boom. And this corner kick is going to be whistled as, it's going to be a turnover. Probably the ball either wasn't stationary or was it on the line?
That's really surprising from Olay. That is not a mistake we see them make ever.
Just about 10 minutes away in this one. Starting lineup for Olay back out there. Sammy Esquivel trying to find some space to his right. He's not going to find what he's looking for.
I would love to see a competition between Sammy, Michael Forbes, and Jeremy Kleppel to see who has the strongest kick.
The strongest kick, like the baseball pitching things, just have it be for a shot.
Yep, strongest shot.
Strongest shot. I know where my money is on that one.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. But it'd be nice to see where Michael Forbes and Sammy rank.
Here come Olay, 3v3. Sammy Esquivel is trying to find Mendez on the far side. A good idea. Not quite on the same page. So in these first 10 minutes, Gerard, what is this, what are you seeing right now, and how do you feel like this game has been flowing for the first 10 minutes?
I think for Olay, it's really going as planned. As Aiden Hanchett looks like taking a shot on goal, just wide. Olay is trying to create offense instead of just dominating the game. They're really taking it slow and building up out of the back, trying to really get more reps with their offense. And so I think it's playing out exactly as they want. We're getting some creative options. They're not looking to score 20 goals here. They're looking to work on some plays and some movement, and that's what we're seeing.
Oh, it's 2v1, 2v keeper, I should say, and that one blown over the goal for number 2, Jaden Hanold. First time we've seen him all year in a Mitwest uniform, or any uniform in the FCS for that matter.
Yeah, it's rare to see Olay lose a ball like that too. I don't know if there's been many times this season we've seen 2-on-1s with their goalies.
No, we haven't. 2v keeper. I think it's a situation where you gotta find a way to find the back of the net if you're 2v keeper, but unfortunately Mitwest not able to do that, and they still find themselves down a goal. Direct play from Andres Montez does not connect with Johan Vasquez in this case. Little different atmosphere here in the Atlantic City Arena than we normally get for the Atlantic City home games. A late Friday night game, not many fans coming to fill the arena, so the voices have a little more echo and it's just a little more space in between bodies here tonight.
I would anticipate a lot of the Olay fans were choosing to come tomorrow night to the match against Lansing City. As Chris Mendez breaks away, great shot and another great save by Aiden Hanchett, and Jared Kleppel with a great stop using the sole of his foot.
Using the sole of my foot here in the booth. We have to keep it consistent. Olay running over the ball. Oh, it's coming back.
Sole.
Gerard's chance. Nope.
Sole trap. Couldn't get it.
Not this time. Olay in the attacking half. They go all the way back to Montez. Mitwest in high pressure. Force a giveaway. Olay not pressing quite as much here in this case, so they start to step up now. Hanchett coming out of goal, providing an option. He's got only 4 seconds on the ball. He's got to get rid of it. He does. And Danny Diaz is going to see that one out of bounds. Kicking coming right up here for Storm Powers in Mitwest.
Yeah, as good as Olay travels, as we were talking about earlier, I have to imagine their fans made a conscious decision to put all of their time and effort into tomorrow night to come out. So I would expect it to be a lively crowd here tomorrow night.
I absolutely expect the same. I expect to see fans from both sides in the Atlantic City Arena rocking, as we typically see for futsal games. And Jair Real nearly finding the 5-hole of Aiden Hanchett. But his knee coming down just enough to trap that one.
Quick cat-like reflexes.
Looks like it was whistled for a Mitwest kick. Ball kind of came way over on the other side. Olay's trying to get set up. Hearing a lot of communication between players there. Comes out to Hanchett, and his attacking risk is going to backfire. Number 19, Cesar Alayo, comes away with the open net goal.
I think it's actually Jair Real. Yeah, he won the ball back. He's so dependable on the ball. Like, as soon as he won the ball, I knew it was a goal. It's just one of those things. He has so much composure. And you saw it in that last shot when he almost megged Aiden, but Aiden got that knee down quick. He is able to find those really small spaces to put the ball. And so he lined up Aiden as Aiden was going back to cover the goal. And you could see Jair just made that one little ball move to get himself open to put it in the back of the net.
Now Zach Landers coming the other way from Mitwest, trying to take on Cesar Alayo. Unfortunately, rolls that one right out of bounds. Olay will have a kick in their defending half. Andres Montes out of goal. Coming up the court for a moment. Provide some opportunity, but he retreats back to goal as Olay start to possess in the attacking half. Olay with a long spell of possession here. Zach Landers steps up. It gets by him. Woo! Top shelf, number 19, Cesar Alayo.
Well, you knew he was going to score, obviously, because you said him earlier. Wow, what a shot. I mean, that's how you put your name onto the scorecard right there.
Just outside of the arc, a step or so out. And after he rockets it to the ceiling, he points that way as well. Olay 3, Mitwest 0, 7:35 to go in half number 1.
Wow, talk about the placement on that. We were just praising Jair Real for his placement. But with that power, and that's the location, whew, I don't know any goalie stopping that ball.
Now here comes Olay once again. They have the 3-goal advantage. They're looking to add to it. They get in a dangerous area off the post. One more time, collected by Aiden Hanchett. Jair Real almost added another one to his tally.
He almost did, and, you know, we need to start keeping a record of the times that these players are hitting the post because, like we said, Tresor's hit it so many times, feel like it's almost intentional at this point.
Heard one coach say one time it takes more precision and accuracy to hit the post than to find the back of the net. I suppose you only really say that when you hit the post and not the back of the net. Here comes Sammy Esquivel. Firm strike handled by Aiden Hanchett.
And that is the 13th save of the game already for Hanchett.
Hanchett finds a long diagonal to Zach Landers, able to keep it for a moment, but really nothing he could do in that scenario. Momentum carrying him out of bounds and under heavy pressure with no teammate in the area again. It's a post. Chris Mendez this time. Maybe we should keep track of how many goals are scored and how many times the post denies a goal. I think right now it's 4-3.
Well, you know, we do have the right post, the left post. We just need the crossbar. And Diaz was almost there. He was trying to hit it.
Almost there, but instead, not even close.
Not even close, no.
Unfortunately for him, blows that
but
one.
You know, after that second goal, you can kind of feel the air in this arena changing. Olay starting to be a lot more loose and have a lot more fun out there.
And with just under 6 minutes to go, Grand Rapids Olay are going to use their timeout in this half. Currently up 3-0. Don't forget, you can find the FCS as well as the teams on social media. Grand Rapids Olay, Midwest United, Lansing City, Detroit Imperial, Jinga FS. Follow your favorite teams on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, if you're watching here, you found the FCS on YouTube, congratulations. You can also check out futsalchampionseries.com. And just a quick shout out, Gerard, you and your wife have been spending a lot of time on the stats recently. Tell us a little bit about what fans can find at futsalchampionseries.com for the stats.
So if you navigate to futsalchampionseries.com and then you go to the standings and schedule tab, schedule and standings tab, you go down, you can look at leaders, you can look at the scores, you can go into the games, you can find out a lot of stats of how many shots were taken, how many goals were scored, how many fouls were had. And so one of the things that's really interesting is looking at some of the leaderboards. And, there are some familiar faces from the FCS all over the leaderboards. When we think about two of the inaugural members of FCS, Jeremy Kleppel and Davide DePoce, they're 5 of the 6 leaders for offensive players. And then somebody that I'm really fond of seeing on the court, Daniel De Leon, he's leading the league in yellow cards. Who would have thought?
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So some fun stats and stats like goalkeeper saves, goals, assists for the whole season have now been logged and tracked, so check that out at the futsalchampionseries.com. Here we go, back to the action. Here's Sammy Esquivel skipping up the court and passes it to nobody. Not on the same page with Johan Vasquez there. We're seeing Josh Pashima enter the game for the first time. Aiden Hanchett putting on a red jersey. So it looks like his time in goal probably going to be finished, and he's got a court player jersey on now. So maybe those rumors are true that he will find the court sometime during the rest of this game.
Well, I wasn't surprised to hear Coach Francois talk about Aiden coming out and being an outfield player. As we see, Daniel Diaz with a nice pass, and it doesn't find the target, but Sammy Esquivel finds the ball and puts it into the back of the net. Let's see if the statisticians give Daniel an assist on that one. I don't know. Oh, actually, wait.
Yeah.
Did Johan Vasquez get that?
He did.
Oh,
he
Johan Vasquez.
He got a little touch.
Nice.
And then side netting for Sammy Esquivel with his signature. I don't know if you call that a shout or a yell, but celebration after it. Goal number 4 for Grand Rapids Olay with 5 minutes to go. And Aiden Hanchett already on the floor here, number 12. He went from goalkeeper to court player in almost as fast as they do it for, when they're putting their fifth attacker on.
Without a doubt, he has the strongest leg of anyone on Mitwest, and so getting him some extra shots. Oh, as Zach Landers almost finds the back of the net. Well, Zach Landers is never one to not give full effort. How exciting to see him and Sammy go at it. Zach Landers always putting it out there.
He seems to be a player that kind of gets his foot in everything. No stranger to effort. But Midwest are going to need more than just him tonight. Some words exchanged between him and Chris Mendez here on the near sideline.
Yeah, that's an interesting moment.
The official also having words as well.
Yeah, Zach did just shoulder him, and especially when a team's up 4-0, it's one of those things where, how embarrassing do you want it to get? And hopefully we don't see anything get out of control here.
Olay with a quick substitution there. Chris Mendez is going to find the bench as well. Here's Pablo Real on the near side. He's working with Aaron Gomez and Jair Real.
It does when you think about that mentality of when you start to go down early in these games and just consistently. And so we talked about after the first half, we'd start to think Olay would pull away, which they're doing. It's a consistent theme for Midwest. How do you not get frustrated losing by 10, 15 goals every single time out?
It's definitely a challenge for the players on this team in red. They are looking for whatever kind of improvement they can find. So far in this one, they've had a couple of close chances on goal. They haven't found the back of the net, but Olay have been in full control so far. Here they are on the attack. Save from Pashima. Does well to get that one to drop right at his hands on the deflection. Distribution doesn't go well and comes right back to Olay. Is that going to be a corner? No, it's going to be restarted through Josh Pashima. Official blowing the whistle on that one. Kick-in not quite happening in the correct area, so they will re-put that one in play. Mitwest in a high press. Olay handling. They do well with it. Here's Marcos Real.
You know, between the Esquivel brothers and the Diaz brothers, we don't hear a lot about the Real brothers. And they, you know, there's 3 Real brothers on this team, and they all have a different style of play to them, but they have a deep impact. And, you know, we were talking about Jair earlier, but Marcos and Pablo both have an impact. Marcos is somebody that's been a consistent standout for them all year as well.
Now here comes Aiden Hanchett as 5th attacker. Curious, he has the yellow penny on, but he has his goalkeeper uniform under it, so I'm not quite sure why he's wearing that. But he was kind of coming up the court for a moment.
It is a little bit mystifying, to be honest, because he doesn't need the penny if he's in his goalie uniform, and so maybe there's they want to like switch him to an attacker without it, but why did he take the red jersey off? You know, these are mysteries that only Francois could potentially know the answer to, but even then, I think we might not know.
Well, he stays in goal for now, and Olay turn it over. Here comes Mitwest the other way, a long strike from half. Storm Powers. Sounds like he does win a corner for Mitwest. Hanchett coming all the way up out of goal.
This is something we've seen from Pashima quite a bit too, coming to take some free kicks and corners. It's an odd choice to have your goalie so far away from the goal, especially when you don't maintain possession well like they just did there.
Ooh.
Lucky not to give up a goal. That's surprising from Jair Real not to put that away.
That was his 2nd try at an open goal, open net opportunity. The first one he put away, that one, it's the outside of the side net. Oh, great ball right in front of goal from Brian Cruz. No help there, and Olay come the other way. Little chip from Landers to Storm Powers. Not able to connect.
Aaron Gomez just has such a high engine. He is all over the court. I mean, he came down, wasn't able to get a shot off on one end. They lose the ball, go streaking back, and who finds themselves stopping the attack? Aaron Gomez.
That's one of the things about the Olay team is they have so many players that really just they not all they have so many players that are just very solid and reliable. As Pablo Real wins a corner there, that you know watching them play, you may not pick out like, oh, you know, I'm picking out these multiple players. Like there's some like Sammy Esquivel stands out many times when you see him play, but they have so many players that it's like you may see their team play multiple times and they may not stand out in the stat sheet or in your mind, but they're all reliable and they all take care of the ball. They play defense. And it's one of the reasons why they haven't lost the game yet.
So, one of the things to go back and look at all these games and watch it, you want to know one of the things that really stood out to me as surprising, talking about Olay and their players?
What's that?
So against Jenga, and it was in Cincinnati on the small court, Aaron Gomez had 5 goals. We talk about his defensive effort. We talk about the impact that he has in all of these other areas of the game, his engine. The fact that he had this game against Jingo where he puts the ball into the back of the net 5 times, and he had an assist. He walked away from that game scoring 6 points for his team. Like, that's I say 6 points for his team, but 6 points in the hockey sense. Oh, as Diaz puts another one away for his second on the evening. What a great pass by Cesar Mendez. But Chris Mendez, sorry. When you think about Gomez getting 5 goals and assists, like, wow, it's not the player. We expect to see that out of the DS ones. We expect to see that out of Sammy Esquivel. We expect a lot of these offensive-minded players to attack like that, but to see somebody that's a defensive stalwart for them still step up, they have so many players that from one night to the next they're able to just go off.
Goal number 5 for Ole. You saw on the replay there, very clear jersey pull right before Chris Mendez found who put that one in? Danny Diaz, right?
Danny Diaz,
Right before he found Danny Diaz. And that's how they get goal number 5. They're seeking for number 6 here before the half is over. Johan Vasquez at the point working with Chris Mendez. Ole's got their starting 4 out there. A little pick coming from Danny Diaz. Unsuccessful there, but they do win it back. And they reset the attack. Oh, great little piece of skill there. Probably the best technical ability we've seen today from Chris Mendez.
We didn't get a chance to talk to Fabian Rodriguez about this on the third half, but one of the questions I really wanted to ask him was more focused on his team and how he builds a team, how he develops a team. Because when you think about having specialists in the pivot role or in the ala role, having people that are really great passers or really great dribblers or shooters, it just seems like he develops talent to be all around good at the game of futsal.
His team currently up by 5 with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Ball inside, Mendez can turn. Finds Diaz back to Sammy Esquivel. Ole keeping possession here, diagonal to Diaz in the middle. Can he control it? It gets away from him. Storm Powers takes a left-footed strike from half. No trouble for Andres Montez on that one. 20 seconds to go in half number 1.
Would you agree with that assertion, Jared, that this is intentional what we're seeing, this all-around development of these players like Aaron Gomez, Chris Mendez, Daniel Diaz?
I think that I might have more thoughts on that at the halftime break. I haven't really thought about that specifically, so I couldn't really give you my opinion on that offhand, as Aiden Hancher is going to be whistled for ball not being on the line. Three seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that's going to be time in half number 1. Ole on top by 5 by a score of 5-0. Gerard, before we go to our halftime break, your quick recap of what you saw in that first half.
A lot of creativity from Ole, trying new things, trying new plays, new defensive structure. So it was fun to see them trying some things and to see it work too. Because I think early in the game, they just weren't finishing and things weren't really clicking. But as the second half went on, or the second part of the first half went on, they really put it together.
We're going to have some more halftime thoughts as well as stats from the first half coming up in just a bit. We're going to send you to our sponsors, so don't go anywhere.
Committing a crime so you can try to escape from prison. Bad idea. Going to the pod escape room to play an escape game with your friends. Great idea. Test your skill as an astronaut in outer space. Find Santa in Save Christmas. Or take a vacation to an abandoned island. Just don't get stuck there. The Pod Escape Room. Learn more at thepodlansing.com.
Lansing City Arena courtside for tonight's match between Mitwest FC, Grand Rapids Olay. Currently, Olay up at the half, 5-0, Gerard.
Yeah, this is really what we expected to see. We expected Mitwest to put up a fight the first half of the first half, and then for things to kind of slowly go Olay's way, and they did slowly and then quickly.
Olay putting up 5 goals in half number 1. A couple of close opportunities for Mitwest that didn't quite get into the back of the net. Tell us a little bit about half number 1 from the stat sheet, Gerard.
Yeah, the biggest call out for the stat sheet is Aiden Hanchett. While he was in goal, he had 14 saves, and then they pulled him out, which was interesting. And so he did give up 3 goals, but we saw a number of Olay players. They have 4 different scores already on the game.
We are seeing as we kick off for half number 2, it will be Josh Pashma in goal for Mitwest FC. And on the other side, we get to see the tall, long, lanky Josh Pierce in goal for Grand Rapids Olay. He actually spent time in a Lansing City jersey for a few years. We'll see what half number 2 brings. Here's Aaron Gomez. His attempt at possession rolls over the end line, and it will be a restart with Josh Postuma. He goes high up the court. Cesar Alayo denies it. He gets it back looking for the far post, and Landers says not this time.
You know, it's one of the things that Fabian Rodriguez talked about a lot this week in the third half about the lack of development of an offense in a lot of these tournaments where goalies will just throw the ball up the court, and that's what we see a lot of times from Mitwest. Like, there's just an inability to build up from the back.
They're under heavy pressure right now. 2 players in the back post area for Olay, but neither able to find the back of the net. Distribution from Mitwest. Goalkeeper going long once again. Here is Olay, deep in the attacking half. Cesar Alayo, face up by Aiden Hanchett. Tries to find space in the middle, it's not there. Oh, good piece of ball work from Marcos Real to maintain possession. Oh, a little touch from him as well. Looking for a flick onto the far post, just a couple of feet wide. Mitwest going long once again. Headed away by Olay. Ball in the air, Olay brings it down. Aaron Gomez finds the back of the net. He nearly ripped a hole in it for goal number 6.
Wow, what a shot. You know, we talked about Cesar Alayo earlier in the game with just a beautiful piece. Great placement. Immense power. Aaron Gomez putting it into the back of the net with authority.
Olay not wasting any time, and they find goal number 7, probably less than 10 seconds after the kickoff for goal number 6.
And, you know, we just saw an example with Gomez firing it into the back of the net, showing off his power, and then right there he shows off his touch. What a great little touch pass to create an easy goal. And Gomez now steals the ball. I mean, like literally, we talk about the all-around play of a player. I don't know if you have a better example in 3 consecutive plays where you have the powerful shot, the creative outlet, and then the steal and the pressure off the defensive end. I mean, Aaron Gomez, and then he gets another opportunity right there off of a loose ball he picks up in transition. Wow, Postuma having a get a beautiful save just to stop Gomez from getting on the board again.
He was threatening another one. Now he's taking the corner. Left-footed strike from Marcos Riel, blocked. Tries to find Gomez, but bad pass there. Kicking from Mitwest. They go back to Hanchett. He's on the court. His flick down the court, not what he wanted.
You know, we were getting asked questions about what is it about Olay, and Fabian was getting asked this as well. Like, what is it about their supporters? Like, why are they so into the club? And I just have to think about these players and watching them. Like, there's so many talented individuals on this team. It's not just a couple of standouts. It's just exciting. No matter what line's in, there's players that capture your attention.
The one thing that's difficult about today's game is there are a lot of players that would look talented playing against, the team that they're playing against. But we have seen the consistency from their team, this season as they have another one. Danny Diaz, a nice, easy one for goal number 8 for Grand Rapids Olay.
And that is actually Chris Mendez's 3rd assist tonight. And so Sammy had the pass to the assist. I think that's his 2nd time. But Chris Mendez, 3rd assist on the night already. And Diaz putting another one into the back of the net.
So in a quick matter of time, Olay add 3 goals to their tally. Less than 3 minutes into the second half. Last time these two teams met exactly a week ago in Grand Rapids, the ending score was 9-0 Olay. The way things are looking right now as Josh Pierce comes out, making a sliding save. Storm Powers, no, it wasn't Storm Powers, that's Jimmy Saval going to the ground. No problems there from an officiating standpoint. A clean play. Now here come Olay the other way. Sammy Escobar looking for a toe poke. Both posts.
Wow.
He hit both posts on that one.
How did that not go in?
We're talking in half number 1 about tallying up how many times the post denied one. That was a double whammy.
Yeah, what a beautiful shot. I mean, he placed that almost with precision, just a millimeter off.
Olay threatening another one. Mitwest trying to survive the attack. They're putting high pressure on, but it's not very controlled. Mendez and Esquivel working in the back. Of course, Lido Esquivel not present in tonight's match. Assuming we'll see him tomorrow, along with Frankie Mendoza.
I did find out a player that we will not see tomorrow, Cesar Martinez. He's actually nursing an ankle injury.
No Cesar Martinez tonight or tomorrow for Grand Rapids Olay. Sammy Escobar leaving that one for Chris Mendez. His rocket of a strike is caught by Postuma. Really in these first 4 minutes of the half, Gerard, Mitwest has not seen the ball very much.
No, they haven't. Olay is really having their way completely. And just a second ago, we saw one of the most powerful chest traps I've ever seen. Sammy Esquivel trapped it with his chest and passed it half the distance of the court.
They've been distributing, Mitwest has been distributing from the back long as we see here. And it's, the first touch has just not been there. And, the amount of possession that they've had so far in this half, it's definitely not looking good. And on the defensive side, right now you see they're applying some high press. They are trying to attack the game defensively, I think, but it's like it's not very controlled. They're running past the ball a lot. Olay is able to stop the ball, make a pass. They're really having their way right now, though they are under some Some duress here. Not too much. Chris Mendez gets out of there. Aaron Gomez, another extra pass. Makes it an easy one for J.R. Real. And Olay match the 9 goals they scored last week.
And I don't want to say, but this is now the 4th assist for Chris Mendez. And what an unselfish player. I mean, instead of taking the shot right there, he makes that extra pass to make it an easy goal. You know, it's one of those things when we talk about playing as a team that Olay does so well. And, you know, yes, they're playing Mitwest today, but this is a theme that we've seen play out the entire season, is that they always play together. And it's one of the things that we really haven't seen from Mitwest. There's a lot of individuality on Mitwest as far as, like, we see those passes from Posthuma up the court, and there's no structure in their attack. There's no structure even in the defense. Right now we have 3 players attacking into one small area of the court. And so when you think about how do they maintain some of that defensive structure, the offensive structure, hopefully Francois can see what Fabian's doing on the other side and learn something tonight.
Certainly not a lack of effort from the players in red tonight. It's simply just outclassed so far today. Cheeky little behind the leg pass from Alayo. Alayo wants a handball, not going to get it. Here is Aaron Gomez going down the sideline. And the deflection not able to be read by Hanchett. Goal number 10 for Olay coming from Aaron Gomez. And a rolling foul on the play as well. First foul of the match against either team, but that's the first for Mitwest.
And, you know, we didn't really call it out as it was happening, but Aaron Gomez, he got fouled on that play, but his ability to maintain his balance through the tackle that came in, we got a rolling foul on it, but he maintained his balance and then was able to put a great shot on frame.
Right off the opening kick, Olay almost immediately having the ball in the inside the arc. And you get the feeling this is going to be a long 14 minutes for Mitwest.
Yeah, it's going to be a long 14 minutes, but it's going to be a fun one for us. There's going to be a lot of goals.
Foul called on number 9, Storm Powers, grabbing the Olay player. We haven't seen a whole lot of frustration and physicality from Mitwest this year. There's a possibility maybe it's building up a little bit. It's really tough as a player to suffer the kinds of losses at the rate that they have.
And, you know, that's really a testament to their composure. Wow, it's Hanchett.
Hanchett,
great save. Oh, another great save.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Hayden Hanchett really getting his paws dirty to stay clean here. He had to just he was already on his side. He could barely move. He had to just will his body to get in front of the follow-up there. He prevents Olay from going up another one.
And, you know, you talk about the physicality of Mitwest, something that they have done really well all season is even despite these games getting out of hand, they've not lost their composure. They actually have the least amount of fouls of any team in the league.
Aaron Gomez strike denied by Hanchett. The counter the other way quickly thwarted, and Olay back in possession. Danny Diaz walking on the court. As Grand Rapids Olay are in the middle of a line change. Emi Esquivel, Johan Vasquez, Danny Diaz. Real in the 4th spot. Here he has it. Goes back to Esquivel. The outside of the foot strike was heading for the side net, but great save from Aiden Hanchett.
Look, even if we do not see goals, and a lot of them tonight, to see plays like that, that's what makes futsal great. That is some great 1-2 play action right there.
Here is Ole starters. Good show of sportsmanship from Sammy Esquivel, helping up Nathan Hahn. Probably more than 10 years between the two, with Nathan Hahn being only 13, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you've talked about this multiple times, but this is really a real-life version of David versus Goliath. And although David did win once, I wouldn't expect that outcome every single time.
Sammy Esquivel upset that he blew that one over. He had an open net right at the top of the arc or just inside. The long distribution from Mitwest. Again, not there. Danny Diaz shot goes wide. At one point in the last several minutes, Aiden Hanchett coming back in. I think it was after maybe goal number 8 or 9. He came in with the yellow bib on. I think maybe we'll see him fly. I don't know, but so far he's staying in net. And Ole are going to get another easy one, passing all around and amidst the red shirts. And Chris Mendez is the one who finds the back of the net.
This is just remarkable. Chris Mendez gets on the board, but it's really not by himself. It's a really great communication. There's a lot of players that will just take that shot. Daniel Diaz takes the extra pass, but it wasn't just the extra pass. It was Chris Mendez continuing that run after he passed the ball to begin with.
Shot from Aiden Hanchett, stopped by Josh Pierce. One of the first times we've called his name in action tonight. Not too many shots he's faced. Good piece of skill from Esquivel. Pass left some to be desired.
If there's anything disappointing about watching Ole, it's that they're so good defensively and there's so much structure that you don't get to see their great goalie play all too often.
We've seen 3 goalies for Ole this year. Andres Montes, Frankie Mendoza, the 2 we normally see. We have seen Josh Pierce for a handful of games. He's in net now. Not too many saves to his name in this one, but he hasn't faced many shots this half.
No, and that's a familiar storyline for the Ole goalies, and it's hard sometimes to even think about how much of an impact they have in the game because we don't see a lot of attack on their goal.
Transition moment there for Mitwest just a moment ago. Could kind of just tell on the body language of Zach Landers, the way he hung his head after the pass didn't connect with his teammate. I mean, it's tough to be down by this much with this much time remaining. But not only that, just the way that this half has gone, it's like I'm sure he feels like there's anything he's done. It's just Ole's passing around them. There's just not much that they can do.
That's an understatement.
Was able to win the ball there. They have a 2v2. The ball to Zach Landers coming from Jaden Hanold. A little too far for him. Ten minutes to go in this one. Ole with 11-0 advantage. Possession is Jair Real. Trying to find Pablo Real, but runs into the Mitwest defense first. Oh, that was an entertaining piece of skill from both players for Ole's 12th goal. Pablo Real is the one who puts it in.
Oh, just some beautiful footwork from Jair Riel to create that. The little pendulum right there. Great pass and great finish from Pablo.
And Ole looking again. Pablo smelling blood in the water, trying to add another one just seconds later. This is both teams' 9th game this season in a 10-game season. They both have one more game to play. Olay will play Lansing City right here tomorrow as Pashima makes a save. And Mitwest will play Midwest United here tomorrow. And that is where our regular season for the FCS is going to come to a close. Really, the story of these two teams probably couldn't be more different this year. Olay yet to lose. They have one tied to their name in the first game of the season away at Midwest United. And Midwest yet to find a result outside of a loss. And this one, Aaron Gomez, his shot will take a deflection, and it's going to go in for goal number 13. And all Pashima can do is just look at it in the back of the net.
And that's a hat trick for Aaron Gomez. You know, it's not his first hat of the season.
Not the first time he has reached that mark this season. Plenty of goals to go around in this one for his side. 13-0, first timeout of the half. Going to be called by Mitwest. Shout out to our sponsor, Ally Marketing. If you're looking for a teammate in the marketing space, check out allymarketing.us. That's ALLY marketing.us. Ally Marketing is the official marketing partner of the FCS. Ally Marketing, let's be friends. Also want to take this time just to let's turn our focus for a moment to what is to come tomorrow. We have 2 more matches in the Futsal Champions Series regular season, and they are both tomorrow. Mitwest is going to play Midwest United at 8:30. Actually, that game's probably going to be at 9 because it's going to be after the Lansing City Grand Rapids Olay game. And Gerard, we were talking earlier this week on the third half. This Lansing City and Olay game, it might be the game of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. So Lansing City's playing for the playoffs. They need a tie. They need a tie, or Lansing City needs a tie or a win to make it into the playoffs. And when we think about the last time that those two teams met in Grand Rapids, it was a really exciting game. Lansing City played Olay the best of any team that we've seen since the initial game of the season.
And on top of that, the best that we've seen any team play them at their home building. They lost by 1, and every other team, I believe, has lost by at least 5 or 6, if I just had to remember offhand. But that one is certainly exciting, and the final playoff spot, Lansing City and Detroit battling for it, and all Lansing City needs, as you mentioned, is a tie or a win, and they're through. But if they lose that one tomorrow, Detroit Imperial will find themselves in the 4th seed, and Lansing City will be eliminated. .8:43 left in this one. Olay up by a score of 13-0.
So, you know, we haven't talked a lot about it, but Josh Pierce also played for Lansing City. Was he a player that you played with? You have a history with Josh?
I never played with him. I might have been in some training sessions with him, but he came in a little bit later than when I was on the team. And another one, Olay piling it on, goal number 14 with 8:33 left.
And we now have our second hat trick of the game. Jair also has a hat trick this evening.
Jair Real finding the back of the net for goal number 14.
Jair's first hat trick of the season was accompanied by an interview with our FCS team, and the thing that he said he was looking forward to this season was wins and goals, and they have done that this year.
They have. Grand Rapids Olay yet to be beat assuming nothing absolutely crazy happens in this one, there'll be 8 wins and no losses and 1 tie at the end of it. In their last game against Lansing City tomorrow, see if they can maintain that unbeaten record of Sammy Esquivel's shot. Sales just a little bit high. You know, he's had a lot of chances to find the back of the net, and has had, for the amount of chances he's had, he hasn't found it as much as he'd like.
No, he hasn't. His finishing touch has been a little bit off this evening. You know, and you factor in some of the new players that he's playing with. This is a brand new line for him. So how does that really impact, you know, some of that comfortability factor?
And here he is with it, working with Johan Vasquez. Vasquez, Danny Diaz, Chris Mendez, the starting 4 back on the court for Olay. Diaz picks that one up. Shot is blocked. Meanwhile, for Mitwest, Han brothers, number 5, Salman Al-Mutawa and Aiden Hanchett on the floor. Hanchett gives it away. Here's Diaz coming the other way. He has Sammy Esquivel. Hanchett with a slide. He is able to stop that attack. For a moment, thought it was going to be not the best idea. He kind of slid from a long ways away, but it worked out for him.
He did. That was some goalkeeping instincts right there to know when to slide at the right moment. I really thought they were going to be able to pull that ball back and go around him, but great tackle by Hanchett.
Here is Olay. Mendez was looking for the 5-hole of Pashima. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but Aiden Hanchett, number 12, they're kind of close to, there he is, number 12. Oh, Danny Diaz. He kicks the post on that one. He knows he should have finished it. Should have been goal number 15 for him. Let's see it one more time. All alone in the back. Oh, no.
That is the 3rd time Diaz and Esquivel have hooked up tonight and just missed the goal.
That one, I say this because I've been there as a player blowing a very easy goal. It's embarrassing. But if there's a game you're going to do it in, this is a good one to do it. Now here's Aiden Hanchett. Can he find the back of the net? He does. Number 12, Aiden Hanchett, coming onto the court, and he breaks through for Mitwest. Left-footed strike, just getting past the kick save of Josh Pierce. He's not happy about that one.
No, he's definitely not happy about that one, but you love to see it for Aiden. He put up over 20 goals or 20 shots on goal this weekend, last week. It's great to see him finally find the back of the net.
And he is all smiles despite being still in the hole by 13 goals, but surely he knows that this one is out of reach, and they're just trying to, like we said earlier, see if there's any kind of improvement, or even if, you know, this half it's been very tough to see any kind of value for Mitwest. Even just a smile from the players, that's good, right?
Yeah, just anything to be a little bit of a reward for the effort that they're putting in tonight.
So 14-1 now, 6:30 to go. It's the second line that we've commonly seen for Olay. Cesar Alayo, Pablo Real, Jair Real, and Marcos Real. So 3 Reals and Cesar Alayo for line number 2. Oh, a good pivot distribution by Cesar Alayo. The chance squandered by Pablo Real.
What a special moment to play with 2 of your siblings at this level. You know, this is the only 3 brothers that have played together in this league. Do we have any other? We just have the twins and then the Esquivel brothers.
That's the only 3 that I'm thinking of right now. There might be more.
And the Hans.
Oh, and Cesar Alayo he hits that one with his foot, and he just wanted to make sure it went in the back of the net, so he just kind of fell on it. Goal number 15 for Grand Rapids Olay. See that one again. Yeah, he got it He kind of went under his foot a little bit. He stumbled over it, but he just said, "You're going in the back of the net, even if my whole body does too." 5.5 to go. Ole threatened again. Pablo Real working with Marcos Real.
And we also have the Timblos with Lansing City, but they don't actually get to play together often.
We haven't seen Oliver and Jonah rostered together since the beginning of the season.
You know, another solid brothers is for Midwest United, the Montanez brothers. They're a pretty strong duo. Gerardo Montanez, he is somebody that if you go back and watch some Midwest United games, he's always fun to watch. He has a couple of exciting man-of-the-match performances.
And Pablo get this one in. He finds Jair, and Jair finishes the job. Ole now with 16.
Yeah, there's really not much to be said about that one or the ones that are to come. This is really what we expected. I would have expected a similar outcome the last time they met, as we see another one put away very easily. It is interesting that when they played at home against Mitwest that we did not see this, that they really just hung back more. And I don't know if Fabian Rodriguez is working on something different to be a little bit more aggressive, but even really over the first 6 minutes of the game, we saw Ole sit back and just really work on some specific plays. And at this point, they're not really working on anything. They're just attacking.
It's got to be so tough as a player for Mitwest. This is the kind of situation, hasn't always been by this many goals, but a large margin all season long. It's really tough to continue playing matches in that way. It definitely adds some kind of weight, and that's something it's tough to see the players in this. I mean, they're clearly discouraged. We just saw one of the players kind of walk over towards the locker room area, very distraught, and it's really tough. They're just it's clearly not the same level today, and to be in that situation is really hard as a player.
Yeah, it is tough, and it's one of the things for those that aren't familiar. So Detroit Imperial actually created their club with quite a few players from the Mitwest FC organization, and Mitwest was one of the early teams of the FCS. They actually won one of the inaugural seasons of the FCS. They had series. And, when you think about losing some of your best players to another team, and Detroit Imperial, we've seen them play at a consistently high level, it's got to be tough to lose all that talent and then to start over in a lot of ways.
Sammy Esquivel again denied at the goal line. This time it was not by the goalie, but by number 2, Jaden Hanold, in the right place to deny that one.
And really in so many ways, we talked about this Thursday, FCS Futures. This is a perfect example of a team that somebody like Nathan Hahn, instead of playing with the men's team at 13 years old, he could be playing in FCS Futures. And yes, it's a great experience for him to be out here, but he's not ready for this level yet. And so it's almost stunting his potential development by putting him in a position he's not ready for yet.
Here comes Sammy Esquivel. I mean, Chris Mendez to Aaron Gomez, and again, Jaden Hanold with a goal line save. He's got 2 goal line saves, and they've both come in the last minute. Little turn from Diaz. He hits the floor looking for a foul. I thought it was going to be a handball.
Yeah, it's always a tough one, and so that's a decision that the referee has to make. It's a judgment call of whether or not a player intentionally handles the ball. And when somebody's falling to the ground, if their hand happens to touch the ball, if it's a natural movement, a lot of times that won't be called unless there's some type of advantage that gets created in the situation. And, when you think about development, think about some of the historical figures we've had, even in the U.S. soccer scene, somebody like Freddie Adu, who got pushed through the entire structure so fast, and he just wasn't wasn't ready for it. He was supposed to be this generational talent, and not that Nathan Hahn is that at all, but he plays on the Olympic development team for outdoor soccer. He's been playing futsal since I think he was like 4, and so when you think about how important that development is, not rushing players into a situation they're not ready for is always something to be concerned with.
This possession for Olay, headed away at the goal line. The Mitwest players taking on the burden of the saves. That time it was number 5, Salman Almutawa. And in the last couple of minutes, we've seen 3 goal line stops from court players.
Yeah, and it's something you really like to see out of Mitwest. You like to see them not giving up. You like to see their continued effort, the continued intensity. No matter what the scoreline is, they're going to play the same way.
Both teams showing no signs of letting off the gas. 2:44 to go. Corner kick from Olay goes nowhere, but in another kick in for them. Here comes Josh Pierce up the court on the opposite side. You see him right there on your screen in the neon yellow. He takes a touch. He's a 5th attacker for the time being. He receives it. Can he make a play on goal? Toe poke blocked by Nathan Hahn. And Pierce retreats back to net. Alayo says, come up, and he stays back. Andres Montes is calling from the bench for him to go up again, and Pierce does make his way across the half line. So he has unlimited touch and possession. Now his shot, not quite there. His teammates wanted him to find the back of the net, sharing smiles together as he jogs back. (17-1), 2:16 to go. Grand Rapids Olay in a high press, and that's going to be a second touch for goalkeeper Josh Postuma.
You know, one thing that is refreshing to see is even in a situation like this, the referee was able to maintain composure and recognize that, because that is such a simple detail that could get missed and get lost in games when they get out of control like this or out of hand. You know, you can start to lose your own mental focus as an official. So, you know, as it is to see the second touch, it's nice to see the referees on top of their game.
Marcos Real sends that one to the moon. We've seen that happen a couple of times the last couple of games. Not quite hit it in the right spot. Because, just a comment on that free kick, it was an indirect free kick because it was a second touch by the keeper, so Olay chose to roll it forward to have another player, which ended up being Marcos Real, take that shot. Well, it must be touched by more than one player there.
And for those season-long supporters, as we see Cesar Alayo put into the back of the net, another goal for him. Those season-long supporters, remember that mistake that I made talking about the spot foul that happened in the penalty area and saying the ball gets pulled out. I was incorrect in the penalty kick situation of a foul from the defensive team against the offense. But that is the situation when the ball gets pulled out to the top of the arc. And so that was actually the graphic and the rules I was thinking about when I misstated the rule earlier in the season. So, as we see Jair Riel put another one to the back of the net, it's always good to know the rules. If you don't know the rules, you can find them online. But we play with the FIFA futsal rules in this game. And it's nice to know that even when we're wrong, we can sometimes get it right.
Here is Aiden Hanchett. He beats one player. He's got a little bit of help. And Nathan, that Nathan or Josh? I can't quite tell. I think it's Nathan.
That is Josh.
That's Josh. That's Josh. So Josh Hahn trying to put his version of the Hahn name into the scorebook. And instead, Cesar Alayo adds another one. And is that the first team that's hit the 20 mark this year? I think that's the first time we've got into the 20s this year.
It is. And they're fighting over who's going to have the most goals here as well. It's actually making it pretty hard on the statisticians to keep up with the amount of goals that are being scored.
So with this 21 goals, we've had officially more goals per minute, more goals than minutes in a single half.
Well, that's true. Yeah, so I think we saw Lansing City put up 19, and Mitwest scored 2 against them, so 21 total goals. I'm trying to think if I don't know if we've seen another game higher than 21 total goals.
Well, when Lansing City played Midwest United, that was high scoring.
That was, you're right, it was
22.
12. Yeah.
That was 22
12-10.
total. Yep, 12-10. So far, this is not the highest scoring total, but certainly the highest scoring one-sided game that we have seen thus far. Aiden Hanchett trying to find the back of the net from long range. It's not there. Ball will bounce in the stands. 35 seconds left.
And this is the game in which we've seen our highest goal scorer of the year. So Jaya Real is sitting on 6 goals at the moment. 6
goals in this one for Jaya Real.
We had a couple players score 5. So Aaron Gomez had scored 5. Jeremy Kleppel scored 5. So, this is another night where we're seeing a team rack up some points for their goals and assists against Midwest.
Sammy Esquivel still trying to find the back of the net. Here's Aaron Gomez, and he puts that one well wide. Has Sammy Esquivel found the back of the net tonight?
He hasn't.
He hasn't. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's definitely had several chances and just hasn't quite been able to break through. We've got 18 seconds left to try. It does come to him.
And I was curious if what we would see. Oh!
Midwest get goal number 2 with 12 seconds left. Number 11, Jimmy Saval. And we have now tied the most goals scored in a match. 2 in the half for Midwest. Score of 20-2 now. Sammy Esquivel trying to go fast. He wants to get another one. Aaron Gomez is there. He puts it away, and Esquivel still can't find his way into the goal column.
I really thought that he would be putting up quite a few goals tonight once he saw that Davide DePoche passed him in goals for the season, but that has not been the case.
Pashma making a final save. That one bounced off of his eye. And that's how this one wraps up. 20-2, Ole on top. Sammy Esquivel not finding the goal tonight. He was surrounded by his teammates that had many goals, and he was not short of chances, but it just did not bounce his way or didn't quite have the finishing touch when he needed it. Well, we are not too surprised to see a 20-2 game, though, it was a lot more goals than the one last week. Mm-hmm. These are two teams that are not only separated in the standings by amount of points in games won, but clearly tonight they are separated in futsal skill and really just in totally different classes.
Yeah, they are. And it goes a lot into what we talked about this week with FCS Futures. When you think about building a club, it's something that Fabian has done a really fantastic job with Ole. It's not just this team, it's their entire organization. And so it's one of the things that Coach Francois is working with Midwest. That was one of their goals coming to the season. Sadly, I don't know that we've necessarily seen any development from them from the first game of the season to this one. And then that's one of the challenges, especially when they're going against the best team in the league. It could even make it a little harder for us to see that development because it was kind of promising coming out of the first half against Jenga last week. It felt really good, but now seeing this, it's like in so many ways we're seeing this regression.
And obviously Midwest have been in a very tough spot all year long. The closest margin of loss was that Jenga game, and they definitely, that game on Sunday, they were in a position to they were competing.
Yeah, they were. They were competitive.
They were up by 2, and even in the second half before Jingo went up by 2, they had a chance right before that goal from Tommy Sawa to even it out.
And what's interesting is quite a few of the players that were there that night were not here tonight. So we've seen that a lot with Midwest. We have not seen the same team week in and week out with them. So it's a lot of the same players, but inconsistently do they show up for these games. And so even last week, they had a lot less players. They finished the game with only 7 players because one of their players got a red card. Tonight they had a lot more players, but it was almost a disadvantage for them to have more players. It's almost as if Mitwest plays better with less.
A couple of players that they were missing tonight, Steven Santiago, Luis Mendoza. Actually, I do believe Francois told me that they are brothers, too. We were talking about brothers earlier.
Okay.
I think they're brothers or maybe related in some way. But tonight's match ends in a 20-2 victory for Ole. Both these teams are going to be back here on this court tomorrow. Mitwest playing Midwest United at 9 p.m., right around 9 p.m. But before that, it is Lansing City hosting Grand Rapids Ole. How excited are you for this one, Gerard?
Look, 4 months ago when I saw the schedule, this was the game I was excited for because this is in Lansing. The champions from the NFPL are coming in to the FCS, and they want to make their mark, and the team to do that against is Lansing City. And so this is going to be a great atmosphere, especially after having been to Grand Rapids and seeing how the Ole fans show up to support Grand Rapids Ole, to see them. And we are expecting to see that traveling fan base come here. It's a short drive. So, look, if you're an Ole supporter, get out here tomorrow night so that you can represent your team and we can have an amazing atmosphere for these great athletes.
And these 2 games are going to be how we wrap up the Futsal Champions Series regular season. Right after that, we're going to have a 1-week break, and then it's going to be the playoffs. Let's take a moment and look at the scenarios for playoffs. We have 3 teams already locked in, and tomorrow it's going to be the Lansing City Ole game that decides the last spot. You can see here on your screen, with a Lansing win, a Lansing loss, and a draw, what happens. So with a win, Lansing City is seed number 3. They will travel to Midwest United, and Jinga plays Grand Rapids Ole. If Lansing loses, Detroit Imperial finds themselves in at seed number 4, and they play Grand Rapids Ole in Grand Rapids, and Jinga FS travel to Midwest United. And yet, one more scenario, a draw. Lansing City would go to spot number 4, and they would turn right around and play Ole once again, but this time in Grand Rapids, and Jinga would have the 3 spot. So that's what is at stake tomorrow. Either Lansing City or Imperial get in, and Jinga's either the 3 or the 4. We know that the 1 and 2 are already solidified.
Can we just stop for a second and talk about how beautiful this graphic is?
You like this graphic?
This is amazing. I just
like
love the fact that we can see all of these scenarios because it can get a little complicated, right? Well, if Lansing wins, what happens? If they lose, what happens? If they draw? But to see all of this, we already know Ally Marketing is our partner. They do a fantastic job with this work. Like, they do this work, and they do incredible work. So this is fantastic. You know, one of the things that I think about, and this kind of came up on the stream last night, we didn't really get to talk to Fabian about it, but who does Ole want to play? So they have 3 different scenarios, and in so many ways they control their destiny. If they lose tomorrow night against Lansing City, well, now they're going to play Detroit Imperial, right? And so do they want to play Detroit Imperial? Would they rather play Jenga? Would they rather play Lansing City? Like, are they going to go for a draw? Like, one of the things I think about, depending on how tight this game is, last time they played it was 4-3. If we come down to the wire and it's 3-3 and they got a penalty kick situation, they're going for the win and there's 3 seconds on the clock, are they trying to put that into the back of the net?
I mean, yes. Yes,
right?
they are.
I mean,
yes, they are. They're not. So here's the thing.
No way they're
Here's the thing. Regardless of who, you know, we have the idea that Grand Rapids Ole can pick who they want to, you know, they have this, you know, possibility of options of who they play. Above all that is winning tomorrow.
They want to
in my opinion.
They want to
I do
win.
not think that they are thinking about who they're going to play. You know, obviously they know what the scenarios are. If I'm Grand Rapids Ole, I want to see Jinga at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I want to see. But obviously I'm not going to throw a game. I'm not going to rest players. This is a big game for Lansing City, and it's a big game for the FCS. I have no doubt that above all that is going to be Grand Rapids Ole wanting to come in and win here in Lansing City Arena.
So, Jared, this is the question for you. We've seen the last 2 games with Grand Rapids Ole against Mitwest, the variety of lineups that they've used. what lines are we going to see tomorrow night?
For Lansing City?
For Olay. Because
For
Olay's
Olay.
been switching their lines, right? We haven't
Yeah.
seen that consistency. Cesar Martinez is hurt now, right? Lito Esquivel wasn't here tonight. So are we going to see that return to those normal lines that we've seen historically, especially with Adrian Diaz might not
Yeah.
be playing tomorrow either. And if that's the case, like, we're seeing a completely different team than when they played against Lansing City and Grand Rapids.
We certainly would be. I think what we're probably going to see, I expect that this is a game that's been kind of circled on the calendar for both these teams. I think even if there was obviously Grand Rapids Olay doesn't have any playoff implications to it. And if at the beginning of the season, even if both teams didn't have any playoff implications, I think they would still be, this game would be important to them ending off the year. Two great futsal clubs have been so important in the futsal scenario and scene here in Michigan. I expect, for that reason, I expect to see kind of the most full-strength rosters that we can get. Now, of course, you have injuries. I think we heard that Cesar Martinez was injured, so he won't be playing. But, I fully expect to see both Diaz brothers. I expect to see Lito Esquivel and Sammy Esquivel. I expect to see all the players we saw tonight, Andres Montes, Johan Vasquez, Chris Mendez, Aaron Gomez, the Real brothers. I expect to see Frankie Mendoza. I don't know if Josh Pierce will come too or not, but, I expect to see those. And that would be kind of the solid core group for them. And for Lansing City, I think, we've seen – there's been a couple of games where they've had a lot of pieces. Has there been a game where they've had all of them? I'm not quite sure. I know Jack Fisher's been hurt for a little while, but I expect to see Jack Fisher, Drew Barney, Luciano Seranuda, Jeremy Kleppel, of course. They're going to be without Ethan Castaneda, so they're going to be relying on Conrad Gonzalez in goal. And David Saltzman is going to hope that it stays that way, and he doesn't have to put the goalkeeper jersey on, though he, spent a lot of time in goal for Lansing City. I think both teams are going to be, at full strength, at least to the best of what they can be.
So something I said really early in the season, the line that I liked the most in our league to watch play together was Jack Fisher, Drew Barney, Grzor Crispane, and Jeremy Kleppel. We might get to see that tomorrow night. All of those players are now healthy. And so that would be really fantastic if we get to see them come together. And so they've switched up those lines a lot since the beginning of the season. And this is Jack Fisher's first game in a while. So I don't know if we'll get to see that play out in that same way, but it would be exciting if we do.
It certainly would be. I think it's you talk about your favorite line to watch. I think one of the key differences between Lansing City and Grand Rapids Olay tomorrow, obviously what their performance has been in the league so far. Olay have yet to lose. Lansing City have already dropped 5, and their season is the one that's on the line. But I think what you pointed out is very true. I think Lansing City does have the moments where they look like the most entertaining team to watch, and even maybe the best team. We haven't really seen. I think if they come out with a win tomorrow, you could maybe have a case for that. But Olay has been so consistent and reliable, and really, I think the game is going to. I said this yesterday in the third half. I think the game is going to be decided by, what kinds of mistakes do Lansing City make. Are they going to make those young, immature mistakes that they've given up goals? Because giving up goals against, to a Grand Rapids Olay team is certainly not the way you want to do it.
No, and that's really the difference in the game when they played. So it was 4-3, and they gave away 2 goals.
Yeah.
Right on some of those mistakes that you talk about, just immaturity, just mental errors, not even being aware of what was happening in the moment on a corner kick. And so you think about take those away, they win that game. Right, and so now here we are. Fast forward a month or so later. What team is going to show up?
Yeah.
And we've seen that consistent improvement from Lansing City all year. It's one of the reasons that we had Conrad Gonzalez on the show, and we were talking about is this the team with the most potential future?
Ceiling.
Yeah, the highest ceiling. And when you think about the way that the FCS has grown over the last couple of years, and you think of what a lot of these players for Lansing City came up within the youth academy at Lansing City, it really points to a really bright future. But where are they right now? Where are they tomorrow?
Where are they tomorrow? We're going to find out. That game is going to kick off at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, the consistency and reliability that Olay has shown, they without a doubt have the team that has been the best all year. They have many players that can play the game of futsal and are reliable and play very good defense and don't make mistakes, and they've put that all together into a season with no losses. But will Lansing City find a way to break through that with their high-powered offense? They kind of take a lot of risks. They don't leave a lot of players back. That's going to be interesting to see tomorrow. I think it's going to be a rocking atmosphere in here, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Make sure you either come out here in person to the Lansing City Arena or tune in online for tomorrow's match, as Lansing City will host Grand Rapids Olay, and possibly, in my opinion, definitely the game of the year so far. That's going to wrap it up for our broadcast tonight. I'm Jared Klepp along with Gerard Ascani, the rest of the FCS Live team, and the production team on-site and remote. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Futsal Champions Series.
Committing a crime so you can try to escape from prison. Bad idea. Going to the pod escape room to play an escape game with your friends. Great idea. Test your skill as an astronaut in outer space. Find Santa in Save Christmas. Or take a vacation to an abandoned island. Just don't get stuck there. The Pod Escape Room. Learn more at thepodlansing.com.